Hello, viewers. Welcome to this week's edition of Personal and Family Security and Safety Program on African Town Hall Online Television. The Personal and Family Security and Safety Program is brought to you by Secure Travel and Residence Services Limited. We are in a period described in the scriptures as perilous times. Security problems worldwide have become very challenging. The security situation in Nigeria has deteriorated seriously, and we can no longer guarantee our safety and security and the security of those, our loved ones and our assets, with the daily reports of multiple kidnappings, highway robbery, and invasion of villages by Fulani herdsmen, terror groups, and other sundry criminals. The long-standing problem of the Boko Haram Islamic terrorist organization has worsened in the last few months, with the governor of Borno State, Professor Babawale Zulum, coming under attack more than twice in 3 months' time. In the last few years, the Boko Haram has broken into different factions, namely this Islamic State, Al-Qaeda in Islamic Maghreb, and all of which are actively sending terror waves in the northeast, central, and west of the country. Northern states of Nigeria that have hitherto been safe and peaceful has been in the last 2 years the most terrorized part of the country, with terrorists connected to the Fulani herdsmen kidnapping, killing, robbing people daily, especially in Kaduna, Katsina, and Zamfara, and some of the other states of the north. Following some spontaneous protests across the country by the young people of this country, the federal government has proscribed the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad, SARS, which have been alleged to have been involved in unlawful extortion, killing, and detention of young Nigerians perceived to be rich under the guise that they are being investigated for advance fee fraud, popularly known as Yahoo Yahoo. The Nigeria Police Force High Command was quick to replace the SARS with another group known as Special Weapons and Tactics, SWAT, immediately created to continue the work designed for SARS. Nigerians are already expressing fears that the SWAT would not be any different from SARS. The SWAT has since been included in the protests by the Nigerian youths. How can a man or woman stay safe and help his or her loved ones be safe and secure in these kind of times? The security of the world or Nigeria is not likely to get better. What then can we do? We at the African Town Hall Online Television, in conjunction with the Secure Travel and Residence Services Limited, feel that the only way out is to get smarter through constant security awareness education for individuals and continuous training for security professionals. To help promote this needed security awareness education to help our viewers, Secure Travel and Residence Services Limited, in conjunction with African Town Hall Online Television, created the Personal and Family Security and Safety Program, through which we invite security experts to come to our online studios to share with our viewers tips and strategies to help them stay safe and secure and keep their loved ones and assets safe. Today, we are pleased to have a renowned security expert professional, retired Captain Babawale Oyediran, CPP, come and share some of his wealth of experience and training, ideas and strategies to help the people to stay safe and keep their loved ones and assets secure. Captain Oyediran, CPP, is a security and safety professional of over 25 years of experience working in the Nigerian Army and in the industrial security sector. He is a member of the American Society for Industrial Security, ASIS International, and holds the highest security certification in the world today, the Certified Protection Professional, CPP, awarded by the ASIS International Board. Retired Captain Oyediran also holds a master's degree in conflict management and peace studies, a postgraduate degree in strategic management and peace studies, and a Bachelor of Science degree in financial studies. He is the author of 4 books, namely Teenagers' Code of Conduct, We Were Soldiers, Prejudice in Human Existence, Improving Banks and Financial Institution Security in Nigeria. And he is the Chief Executive Officer of Fourscore Total Solutions Incorporated, a security consultancy and management outfit. The African Town Hall Online Television will strive to host security experts every Saturday at this time to keep discussing this matter with a view to helping individuals, families, and corporate organizations gain increased awareness of what we can do and at all times to keep ourselves, family, and ourselves safe. It is now my pleasure to welcome retired Captain Babawale Oyediran, CPP, to our online studios. Captain Oyediran, welcome to our studios.
Good evening, Mr. Francis, and good evening to all our viewers across the country.
Welcome. Thank you very much. We are so happy to have someone of your caliber and experience on this program. It means that our viewers will be able to get away with a lot of information that will keep them aware, because awareness is the answer to the challenges we face in these times. So, Captain Oyediran, will you please take a moment to share with our worldwide audience anything about yourself that was not covered in the introduction that you would like them to know, including about your business and current operations?
Okay, thank you, presenter. Oyediran Babawale is my name, like you earlier mentioned. I started security from my cradle, by attending a military school in Zaria. And I took my adulthood to serve in the Nigerian Army. I contributed to national security for over 2 decades. I unfolded into industrial security, and I'd worked for 2 conglomerates in Nigeria as group head of security. Today, I'm doing my business. I'm the MD of Fourscore Total Solutions, like you said. In the area of academics, I've read up to master's degree in conflict management and peace studies. And the professionals, I've had both local and foreign certifications that has to do with security and safety. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, viewers, this is a great one for all of us. We invite you to participate in this discussion by leaving comments and asking questions on the chat bar, which Captain Oyediran would help us find answers to as we move along. We truly value your comments and questions. Meanwhile, while making your comments, remember to avoid defamatory and inflammatory remarks, so that we will all stay safe. Okay. Um, we are considering the perilous times in the world today, security wise. The challenges are huge. It's not just about Nigeria, but this is the whole world. Insecurity seems to pervade everywhere. You know, if you read the news, you hear a lot of stories on all kinds of issues, safety, security involving people. And because this involves people, that's why we are interested. Even in Nigeria, it does appear that the second status we are getting is like a place of insecurity. Now, the Abuja Kaduna Expressway, which everyone knows used to be a prime road that everybody travels through, uh, big people don't use it anymore. They now prefer to travel by rail, which is reasonably safer, abandoning the road, and this is not good. That is because the whole place is infested with kidnappings and highway robbery. So our question, Captain, is in the light of all of this kind of situation enumerated above, what can a man do? Can you give a quickly, on a general note, a few thoughts on things people can do to stay safe?
Thank you, presenter. I'm going to start with this. Um, we have a slogan in the security sector that security is everybody's business. It is important first to identify that and to embrace that. It is until when we do that that we can now start thinking of the personal security tips and how to apply them to our daily activities. Security is everybody's business, and um, we keep the orientation on daily basis, the awareness, both on social media, on training, on encounters with individuals, to tell them, to let them understand the importance of security. We say it is always better to prevent than to react. I have a couple of security tips available here that I will be willing to share with the public. So I'm going to start from here. Firstly, is still on the security awareness. As an individual, um, even this includes the corporate organizations, we should be aware of the prevailing crimes around us. We should be in the know of all the criminal activities around us. And that will eventually lead us to mitigation measures. So, firstly, I'm going to start with that. You know, uh, being in the know of prevailing crime around us, around any organization is the first one. Then, secondly, I would like to talk on our personal way of life. People are fond of displaying wealth, you know, and when you display wealth, it simply means you are inviting criminals to yourself. A good example of such is some people while moving on the road, you see them holding 2 to 3 phones together while they have pockets. These phones are meant to be in the pocket, not displaying them, especially in this area of the world where we find ourselves. Some will move around with a laptop in their hand. These are medium of displaying wealth. If you do that, you are inviting criminals. So it is always good to shield any valuable properties we have, not displaying it out to the public for people to see. Now, I'm going to say this that has to do with the social media. It is never advisable to share so much of ourselves information online with people. It is not advisable. Social media is as good as a public place where people can tap. Some can even hack into your page and extract any information they require about you. So that's another point. Another factor of such is um, regardless of the gathering we have, friends, associates, and all that, we should always share very little about ourselves with uh, our peers, our friends, and who have you. Another very good point here that I have is on our kids. We parents most times prioritize the source of money than taking time to visit our school, our kids' schools. Even taking time to ask them questions and what have you. It's advisable generally that we take time to visit their schools. You know, one of the major challenges they have is peer pressure from their peers. You know, some of us don't even visit our kids' room to check out what they have in their room. Sometimes stolen items is being taken to our house through our kids, kept in the house unknowingly to us until when there is need to call for it. So it is always good for us to take time and visit our kids' schools and educate them about security. Another point I have here to share with the public is on living. It is never advisable to live alone. In the event of any emergencies, it may not be security threat, it could be a threat coming from the medical angle that requires evacuation. So that's another good point. Then the next one I have here has to do with movement, you know. For corporate organizations, we have what we call journey management policy, you know. This is also applicable to individuals. It is not advisable in Nigeria of today to embark on night journey. If you have to embark on a night journey on Nigerian roads, then you have to identify safe havens along your route to see places that are safer. When it comes to the odd hour, hibernate, then wait when other vehicles are passing before you proceed. Then the issue of corporate organizations. Presenter, permit me to say this. Uh, Corporate organizations can, through any of the security consultancy services that we have, just like what we have, the Secure Travels and Residence Secure Limited, First Cost Total Solutions are there, let them, it is always advisable for them to seek the seek the service of security professionals in this area. It goes beyond personal safety. It goes beyond their immediate operating environment. It all depends on how large the organization is. Yes, we say something that security has a universal approach, but the geographical region where we operate differs from each other, and that makes our operational standard different. You know, the way security is being practiced in sub-Sahara here is totally different from what we have in the US. So basically, organizations are advised to reach out to security consulting firms for advices and other mitigation measures that will be required. I would like to say this in the profession, there is what we call security survey and risk assessment. We also have threat and vulnerability assessment. These are the two key factors that will identify existing threats to any organization, and the security professional is expected to source for mitigants to mitigate, if not totally, at least to reduce it to an acceptable standard. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That brings me, what you said now brings me to one question I think you need to attend to before we move to other things. Now, you mentioned about the need for the risk assessment and vulnerability assessments for corporate organizations. Does this not also apply to individuals?
Thank you, presenter, to individuals. You know, that reminds me of another practice we have in the industry, executive protection. If you have to carry executive protection on a principal, a threat and vulnerability assessment is applicable to such principal. So this is also applicable to individuals.
Thank you very much. That is helpful. Very helpful to know. Okay. Um, One of the major challenges with security today and the stumbling blocks making it difficult for security professionals to help more people stay safe and secure is the attitude of complacency. You know, it can't happen to me. People have those thoughts, and until recently, the feeling that people have about security, even those who use security, they look down on the profession and the operatives. So the question I want to ask you on this is, you have had an excellent career through which you were able to use your professional and inbound skills to help your former employers to um, to change their obsolete perception of security and safety, thereby enhancing their security, safety, and profit in the operations of the company. So, can you share some thoughts about security and safety in the world today to help people suffering from the attitude of complacency to change the obsolete perception they have of security and safety? Because if we want to keep people safe, they really need to, accept the guidance of professionals in the field.
Okay, thank you, presenter. Sincerely, this is one of the major challenges. One of the major challenges we have to perception of individuals, organization, even at national level to security. You know, um, please permit me to say this. I've had encounters with directors, executives of companies, even political office holders, and I've had time to share security tips with them. Will come out to say that security personnel are unproductive. And I try
Mm,
to enlighten them to understand that in every organization, the only department that remains in that organization for 365 days of a year is the security department.
mhm.
We leave our life into their hands, we leave our properties into their hands, and we leave our information into their hands. Expect the security department to be productive. Presenter, would you agree with me that this perception is totally wrong? It is time for we as an individual as an organization to embrace security, to know that the front line of any organization is the security status. If a risk assessment is done in a new site and the operating environment is not suitable, is hostile and not suitable for any business, I bet you we have no business. It is time for organizations and individuals to embrace uh, security as a profession and embrace the security agents. I agree to the fact that there are bad eggs in the industry. There are policies, there are measures that are put in place to check such abnormalities, and this is applicable to any gathering across the world. Uh, Crime is not applicable to Nigerian system alone; it's a global challenge, and we'll continue to tackle it. We we have we have a slogan, or let me say, a say in the security industry: criminals and security personnel are always at loggerhead. They are always trying to be step ahead of each other. And that alone indicates that crime pays in a corrupt society. So it takes a lot to mitigate the existence of such crime. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think that is a very profound contribution, and I hope many people's minds are lightened up because of what you have said about this today. I agree with you totally that complacency is dangerous to everybody. And one of the things I like about security is if it can be proactive. And the only way it can be proactive is that the security professionals are allowed to lead in front, and then their counsel and advice are followed. It will help keep people and our organization safe. Okay. We are still watching Personal and Family Security and Safety Program on Africa Town Hall Online Television with Captain Babawale Oyediran, CPP. I am an ASIS International Board Certified Professional Protection Professional. Personal and Family and Security and Safety Program is brought to you by Secure Travel and Residence Services Limited, your number one travel and residential security consulting company. Captain, in Nigeria, we have been bedeviled with several conflicts between civilians and the Nigerian military and other security services on the one hand, and the Nigerian military and other paramilitary services on the other hand, in which sometimes lives are lost, property are damaged. Um, you have high level education. You have very great experience and expertise both in military and conflict resolution. Um, and you have successfully worked to help your former organization handle conflict issues in the operating environment. Please, do you have any advice, any tip, any recommendations that you can make for the Nigerian military, the other paramilitary services, individuals, and communities in managing relationship and contact with each other to avoid these avoidable conflicts and unnecessary loss of lives and property?
Okay, thank you, presenter. I'm going to uh, bring both the military and the paramilitary together, and we still have to understand that we're in a democratic setting, and the kind of governance we practice in Nigeria creates rooms for so many medium of resolving conflicts. Want to state today, as an ex-military personnel, that due to the nature of our training, uh, some of our personnel may choose confrontation to handle issues, but it is never the best approach to such. My advice to the Nigerian military and the paramilitary uh, tonight is that they should be more civil in their approach with the public.
Uh, Captain, are we missing you there?
That the Nigerian military and the paramilitary should include conflict management in their curriculum of training to their staff, their existing staff, and those that will be recruited into the agencies. This will go a long way by initiating conflict management as part of their curriculum in the training of their personnel. Now, on the part of individuals, um, like I earlier said, we have bad eggs in the industry, and both at national level and at industrial level, there are policies guiding the attitude of each personnel. But generally, my recommendation and let me say my advice to the public is to avoid confrontation with any of these security agencies. If you have an encounter with them, obey them. The highest that could come out from such encounter is to lead such person to the police station, and after which you have the right to call your lawyer in. Resisting arrest could mean a lot. So my advice to the public today is to always avoid confrontation with the security agents. On the part of the community, uh, community remains our benchmark. Community remains the benchmark of every individual today. Even organizations have host communities. And we have had different cases, from an extract from the police crime diary, where communities shield criminals out of fear, out of compromise. In working together to achieve a peaceful uh, environment, community leaders, community security personnel are advised not to stop shielding criminals, and they should also help in enhancing intelligence gathering. Okay, I will use this as an example. Most of these security agents they live in the barracks. They may not be aware, though we have pin down points across the country, but they may not be aware of what is happening in your community, except you inform them. And it is until when we inform them that they can swing into action. So we should assist communities in, in the area of intelligence gathering, same as what we call community policing, so to say. And generally, um, I have an advice for both the military and paramilitary. Mr. Francis, we
Yes.
have a challenge in this area, and I will be glad. This is an avenue for me to say this and to come out with possible solutions to such. Our security agents are always at loggerhead with each other. They are always trying to take glory, which is totally wrong.
Yes.
It is well advisable that we have what the United States call the Homeland Security today. The Homeland Security will remain an umbrella shielding the military and the paramilitary under the Homeland Security. And whatever operation they carry out would not be an example of the Nigerian army arrested so numbers of terrorists. It will be Homeland Security arrested XYZ numbers of terrorists. I still continue to look at a day that we are going to achieve this in Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it is so important to what you said here about the security forces not seeking solo glory for achieving anything. Actually, the best way is that there will be synergy for all the security forces because the target for all of them is the same. What they want to do is to keep the country safe for the people. Okay, thank you. That
Yes,
is
that's exactly.
profound, and that is a wonderful statement you've made there. Okay, can you help us with your wealth of experience and training to enumerate some of the basic risks that individuals, families, and corporate organizations face in Nigeria today? And then advice on the need for each person, both family and corporate organizations, to understand their risks on a continuous basis and the actions they can take to mitigate those risks.
Thank you, Mr. Francis. Okay, like I earlier said about the approach to security, you know. it has a universal approach. What differs is geographical region. It will, it is worthy of note for us to identify the prevailing crimes, you know, within our operating environment, both for organizations and individuals. Before thinking of mitigation, part of the prevailing crime we have in this country today are carjacking, petty crimes that happens within our residence, stealing of gas cylinders and what have you, armed struggle. Let me share more light on this armed struggle. Uh, in 2019, the United Nations published an article regarding arms proliferation. It was recorded that over 500 million arms are flying across the world unaccounted for, and about 350 million of these said arms are drafted to Africa, especially using sub-Sahara as a focal point.
Hmm.
Armed struggle has become a major challenge in this country today. I pray it will not get to a stage that arms will become as cheap as going walking up to a phone store to get uh, a phone. We have cultism. Cultism has become a national security issue. Even it has eaten up to our individual streets. We have child trafficking. We have cross-border crime. We have kidnapping. We have various types of organized crime. We have internet and cyber crime. Now, these are prevailing crimes, and this list is an extract from the police crime diary. That is usually our source. For an individual to identify which of these is applicable to him, I will go back to the security survey and risk assessment. Threat and vulnerability assessment is very important. If it becomes difficult for an individual, there are security consulting firms that can carry this out for organizations and for individuals. Security is a sector on its own, and it is a sector that evolves from time to time, and same as crime as well. What we try to do in the security industry is to be steps ahead of criminals. So it is advisable that uh, individuals and organizations should reach out to security consulting firms. Like I said, like what the Secure Travels and Residence Secure Services Limited does, same as what First Coast Total Solution does, and other security consulting firms. They will identify the threats applicable to individuals and organizations and provide solutions to it. Likewise, uh, for organizations who are willing to employ security professionals, Secure Travels does sourcing for security professionals for organizations. That is what I have to say about this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That is very helpful. I think we can't emphasize the need to watch your back when it comes to security. Find out how it affects you, and then take steps. It is important that we know that the Nigeria right now has a very robust collection of security professionals. Many people like Captain Oyediran, who is board certified by the highest board of certified security professionals. We have many of them. We even have the Nigerian Institute of Industrial Security. I mean, all of these groups are there trying to help people do what they can to keep safe. Okay. Viewers, this is Personal and Family Security and Safety Program on African Town Hall Online Television. We are privileged to have retired Captain Babawale Oyediran and assist international board certified protection professional CPP, helping us with all the things we can do to stay safe and secure in this challenging time in the world today. Our personal and family security and safety program is brought to you by Secure Travel and Resident Services Limited. Your one-stop shop for personal, family, and corporate travel and residential security consultancy. You can join this discussion by leaving comments on the chat bar when you see this video. As you view it, you leave a comment, you ask questions, we'll return back to you and be able to help you with find answers to those questions that you have. And if you have need to get in touch with Captain Babawale Oyediran, we will help you get access to him through the information that is already available. Thank you very much, viewers. Okay. Captain, recently I came across an article entitled Code of Conduct for Teenagers by one Catherine Hetter. I think that article appeared on the 18th of April 2017 on the How to Adult website. And she wrote, teens usually benefit from having specific boundaries in which they stay, in which to stay. A code of conduct might serve effectively to communicate your expectations for your teenager. The overall goal of the code, which should be safety. Safety is what we are talking about today. Safety for and outgoing respect
Yes.
extended to everyone. You are a renowned security and safety professional, and you wrote a whole book, not an article, but a whole book on teenagers' code of conduct. Can you share some thoughts about the book? Why the book? And is it connected? And is it connected to the safety of teenagers, which every parent and family is usually worried about as they grow and develop, passing through the different situations in life? What safety measures and strategies are contained in the book for teenagers and parents to use to guide themselves?
Oh, um, uh, I'm glad this question is coming in. Let me start this way. I what informed publishing this book. I am a parent and I'm a father of 5 kids,
Mm,
and I took my time to study the categories of crime that are being committed. I've visited juvenile courts and seen cases that has to do with teenagers. Mr. Francis, I uncovered that most teenagers commit crime unknowingly to them that it is a crime, it is an offense to do so.
mm,
I saw the need for we to educate them, even at secondary school level, possibly including this in their curriculum and making it a mandatory subject for them to pass before moving to the next class. The book Teenagers Code of Conduct talks more about early childhood education. What are the necessary education, knowledge that we are expected to impact uh, in our children? This responsibility has a tripod uh, approach, or let me say a tripod responsibility. One is from the government, two from the teachers, and three from we the parents. In fact, I would say the parents should come first. So, in within this book, I analyzed what early childhood education is all about, and I spoke about the puberty age and the teen age, and the likely changes in their attitude, which we parents are expected to note, and what action should be taken at that stage in the area of counseling and guiding. Then I spoke about peer pressures from their peers. Most of the crimes are being opinionated by peers, you know. And I gave an abstract introduction to the Nigerian Criminal Code. At least let them be aware that there is a law on ground guiding whatever activities they are engaging. I wrote about personal security and safety of themselves. Under this, I mentioned that I did uh, an abstract introduction to fire management in the event of such, contingency plan, emergency evacuation procedure, and what have you. Then I also made mention of how to avoid cultism, avoiding campus secret cults. And this is a topic on its own, all in this book, Teenagers Code of Conduct, identifying a cult member, their ways of operation, what they end up becoming, and what have you. So basically, these are the contents in the book. And Mr. Francis, I will say this: I would like to share copy with you for free. You know,
Oh,
I
perfect.
I was actually looking at, I was looking at uh, an instance where uh, we can collaborate with any of the state ministry of education and see how we can do a mass copy of these books, distribute it to the students, and do a 3 days training on the books for them for free, and probably make them write a test and make provision for rewarding whoever that comes first, and eventually we'll make such person one of our ambassadors. That is my dream for the book, and this is not this can spread across the country. So that is my dream for the book, Teenagers Code of Conduct. It is not all graduates of secondary school proceeds to the university. How then do we expect such to become knowledgeable about Nigerian law? So the need to include this in secondary school curriculum arose now. You know, most of the crimes that are being committed today, you know, you discover that most of them, the criminals actually went through secondary schools too. You know, so this is what teenagers' code of conduct is all about, sir. Thank you.
Wow, this is very marvelous, and thank you for offering me a copy of that book, because after reviewing it here, I felt I need to get a copy of it myself, because there's no doubt that your wealth of experience in safety came into play in this place, and from what you have explained, I think this book needs to be in the hand of every teenager. As you were speaking, some thoughts just came across my mind. Maybe one day, all authors will come together and say, "Hey, we donate a copy or more of our books to a cause." Maybe
Hmm.
one day we will champion such a thing, and this kind of book, I tell you, will be hot for people. People who want to get it. Thank you very much for being inspired to do such a great work and writing it. Okay, you are still viewing the Personal and Family Security and Safety Program on African Town Hall online television, and today we are having this great discourse with retired Captain Babawale Oyediran, and Assis, international board certified protection professional in security. Every Saturday at 11 a.m. Nigerian time, we will endeavor to bring online a security expert to help continue this discussion on the challenging security situation in the world, and how best we can keep ourselves and our loved ones and assets secure in these times. Okay, on a final note, Captain, please share with us your final thoughts for our viewing public on the subject matter of personal and family security and safety program, especially as regards individuals and family responsibility, and any other thoughts you might have uh, to buttress and make this program the beauty that it already is.
All right, thank you, presenter. One, uh, I appreciate this privilege I had to share uh, my professional um, experience and tips with the public. And I would like to say this, that security remains the business of everybody. We should not leave security in the hands of the agents alone. Let us always think security. Let us think safety. Let us be steps ahead of these criminals by helping them to think. A good example is when you keep your personal belongings, valuable items close to your window. You should immediately think that somebody could come, tear off my window and pick these items. If we can do this, if we are helping them to think, then we'll be step ahead of them. Once again, security is everybody's business. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That is very helpful. It has been a pleasure and a blessing to share this hour with you, Captain. It's a lot of education has taken place here, and um, with all of that, I hope that our viewers are able to get some help with all that the challenges that they are facing and any questions they may have had on these security issues. With your permission, we'll share your phone number here if it is okay, in case people would like to call you directly.
Please go ahead, presenter.
Okay, that will be online on this video when it goes public. Thank you very much for being with us today. We truly appreciate your presence and the wonderful thoughts you have shared. Have a
Thank
good
you so
evening.
much.
Great.
You too.
Thank you. Mhm. Okay, viewers, this is your one and only standing out security and safety program to help you stay safe and secure in these perilous times. As promised, we will continue to provide experts who will be happy to share the experiences with you. I expect that some parents should be looking out for this special book that uh, Captain Oyediran had published that will help teenagers' code of conduct. I will get a copy of that book myself. He had promised me one, and I will get. When I love books, I'll get them and send them to people. So we thank you for participating. When you find these broadcasts on Facebook or on YouTube, please, we want you to view it, learn as much as you can, ask your questions. We'll get back to you with answers to those questions. Our Facebook page and our YouTube channel is the African Town Hall. Both on Facebook and YouTube, the channel is the African Town Hall. We would like you to go there, and when you reach there, we want you to subscribe so that you can receive notifications of our future posts. Remember, we have promised that every week we will be online with a security expert to bring you these wonderful thoughts. It has been a pleasure to be with Captain Babawale Oyediran today, a, a very highly qualified security expert with a lot of experience. Um, Thank you for viewing and have a great time.